At Semi-State, a surprising team taking out three well-ranked teams in the final three games of the tournament so far. And Shelbyville in the state championship for the first time since 1947 when they won it. The immortal Bill and also the outside shooting of a great, spectacular long shooting guard, Emerson Johnson. That's the pairing in the opening game this morning. And then in the second game, it'll be Southridge, victor of the Terre Haute Semi-State last week, winning in the championship game, and then they've come in for the second year in a row to play in the state championship today. They're 24-4. The Marion Giants, rated number 2 in the state of Indiana, in the final polls are back again, and they're going for a possible another state championship, and they go in with a mark of 24-3. And Bill Green, the fine coach of the Marion Giants, attempting to set an all-time IHSAA record, seeking his 5th individual state championship. Those are the pairings for today's championship. We are delighted that you've joined us here in Indianapolis this morning. I'm Hilliard Gase. Tom Hessian, our expert commentary, and brilliant play-by-play announcer Jerry Baker will be joining us in just a few moments. Now these messages.
It's easy to take for granted how much some people have until you're reminded how much others don't. These days, it takes a special kind of person to help make things better for all of us. You've always known Hook's pharmacists are an important part of your healthcare needs. It's good to know they're an important part of your community, too.
Hooks likes to see you smile. We like to see you smile.
And we're back at Market Square. Tom Hessian, an expert commentator, former coach, athletic director, and a veteran sports commentator now, has joined us for the state championship today. He's been covering the sectionals, the regionals, and the semi-state last week here in Indianapolis. Tom, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Hilliard. A pleasure to be here, and I think we're going to have 4 teams that are going to put on a very fine basketball show.
Well, I saw all 4 teams practice here yesterday. I did the Fort Wayne semi-state, in which Marion came from behind against 2 strong foes, and I'm very impressed with the field. We know that the Marion Giants are favored, but we've been along here long enough to know that you never know at this stage of this tournament.
Well, you certainly don't. You indicated that Marion came from behind. Southridge had to do the same thing, and for 3 consecutive Saturday nights, Anderson has won in the final seconds. Shelbyville, on the other hand, has played 6 tournament ball games, 2 in each week, and really have not been pushed going into the final period or down to the final stages of a ball game.
Let's look at the first game. Shelbyville and Anderson, a very good match. Shelbyville looks like a team that plays a full-court game. They're very quick. They're not terribly big. Anderson likes a full-court game, but there may be a little more discipline, but they're starting a freshman here today.
Shelbyville would prefer, yes, to use the defense up and down the basketball court. They've scored a lot off of turnovers throughout the course of the basketball season. They have an excellent ball club as far as the quickness, good moves, and jumping ability. Maybe lack a little bit of depth. Anderson, on the other hand, has a ball club. It's a combination of freshmen through seniors, and that combination has seemed to come together pretty well for Norm.
John, the teams will be coming out on the floor in just a moment as the roar begins to envelop Market Square Arena this morning. It's unusual to have a day 75 degrees in March for the state championship.
We've had all kinds of weather, as you well know. Some couple of tough ones in Bloomington when we were playing down there, but an excellent spring day here, the state capital of Indiana.
Southridge is back for the second year in a row. 11 out of their 12 are back. They've changed centers, and they're going against Marion that has 2 excellent basketball players.
I would imagine we're going to see Southridge play with a lot more poise than they did a year ago, and probably with a great deal more confidence. Marion, of course, a ball club that really has a tremendous junior class. I don't think we've ever seen a team in the Final Four so blessed with juniors, maybe unless we go back to the team that Milan had in 1953 with a bunch of juniors.
Well, we're looking forward to your commentary throughout the day, Tom. Thank you for joining us. Tom Hessian, who will be joining us during the play-by-play and calling the instant replays. We'll be back with more at Market Square Arena in the state championship games in a moment.
See your 5 and raise your 5 more. I think you're bluffing, Ed. Ah, don't move a paw. Every time I get a good hand, the lights go.
When the odds are against you, a John Deere generator is one sure bet.
You didn't look at my cards, did you, Ed? I know you can see in the dark. I'll see your 5 and bump you 5 more, Ed.
Get tough weeds like you never got them before. Get pigweed, fall panicum, even black nightshade. With Lasso Microtech. Advanced technology for improved performance. Lasso Microtech. Billions of droplets of Lasso are encased in microscopic capsules to give you that extra power against the tough weeds you worry about most. Lasso Microtech. Advanced herbicide performance.
The Anderson Indians, they'll be going against Shelbyville in the opening game. And now walking over is the Shelbyville coach, John Heaton. John, of course, in his first state championship, and what a tremendous job this young man has done. He took a team that was 1-20 3 years ago, and he has them in the Final Four. John, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Hilliard. It's just a great situation to be in. Extremely happy to be here.
I watched your team practice yesterday. I was amazed at their speed and their poise.
Well, I think they're a very relaxed group of young men right now, Hilliard, and I'll be surprised if they don't come out and play with the intensity with which we've done all year.
You have a tall ball player in Julius Denton. You have a small ball player in Brian Haffel. You have the big and the little, and they do an awful lot for your all-court game.
They certainly do. We have hopefully an inside game and a little of an outside game, but Julius Denton probably is just an all-round basketball player at 6'3", and Ryan Harrell, I think, will win the hearts of the fans as he goes at it like a little buzzsaw today.
I noticed in practice yesterday that Tony Martin plays the defensive side of your game.
Yes, he does. Tony is a very outstanding athlete, all-round athlete. We look for him to stabilize the inside of our defensive work.
Anderson isn't quite a fast break team as they used to be. They play a little more disciplined this year, don't they?
Norm has done an excellent job with them, particularly since Christmas, and I think they'll go to a half-court game a little more often than they have in the past. But they also get the ball down the floor. They have some excellent athletes, and we'll have to guard against that.
Will we be expecting an 84-foot game from you throughout the game this morning?
Well, I think you'll see at least a part of the time, Hilliard, because our young men aren't very big, and we'll have to utilize every inch of that floor.
Well, John, congratulations. I know how proud you are of your young people, and I'm sure they're proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Good
Hilliard.
luck.
Thank you.
John Heaton, the coach of Shelbyville. And we'll be back talking to Norm Held of the Anderson Indians following these messages.
After premixed Lasso and Atrazine won Jim Sefton's on-farm yield test, he switched herbicides.
Lasso Atrazine yielded 6.3 bushel more to the acres. I mean, that's just like if you were raising hogs as we do, and that sow raises one more pig above the national average. I mean, that's pretty well all gravy, you know.
Lasso or premixed Lasso and Atrazine. Less stress, more yield.
This year it could very well be a difference between profit and loss because we're in a tight squeeze.
There's a brand new club in town, Wendy's new Chicken Club. And Wendy's doesn't serve just any chicken in this club. Only pure, boneless breast of chicken with sizzling strips of bacon, cool iceberg lettuce, fresh tomato, all jazzed up with mayo. Consider this an invitation to Wendy's Chicken Club. This club's not for chickens. It's for people only.
Oh, too bad.
Norm Held, the great coach of the Anderson Indians, has been on Market Square Arena's court almost as many times in the last 5 years that I have. But I'm delighted to welcome him back to the Final Four. And what a road he had to get here. Norm, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Hilliard. It's been a long way for us. We, a long time ago, were 2-7 and probably never thought about this particular dream ever coming true. But here we are.
Norm, 2-7 wasn't a really adequate measurement of your team. You had a lot of injuries. You really never got your team together till after Christmas.
Well, Hilliard, we started the year knowing we would be very, very slow out of the gate because we didn't have much experience back. We had only 17% in any category of our statistics returning, and we had 3 or 4 major injuries that really slowed us down even more, and it got to the point in December where we just weren't very good. And had it not been for the Christmas break and a chance to get well, I doubt seriously if we'd have been here.
I think it was the Florida sun that put all that genius back in you, right?
Well, I don't know. I went down there and I thought a lot about it, and we did make a couple of changes when I came home. I'd like to think those had something to do with it, but you never know. It takes talent on the floor to play, and the old slogan's always true. If you ain't got no animals, you ain't got no zoo.
Well, you've got some marvelous basketball players. Kelly is particularly brilliant. I watched him yesterday.
Kelly is a very good athlete. He's the quarterback on our football team. He's really our money man here on this particular ball club. Although Tim Westerfield threw in the game winner in the sectional game, and Eric Cathcock threw it in the regional tournament, and Kelly went to the line and made him at the semi-state.
Let me talk about your freshman, Tim Westerfield. Freshman, starting at the state championship.
He's got to be a very good player. You're going to see him more before the next 3 years are over. I've never started a freshman before. I've never even had a freshman on the squad before. And I've got another freshman on this year's team, and he's a pretty good player, too. So our future looks very bright for us.
Let's talk about your captain now. He's a very smooth customer out there. I like him.
Now, Anthony Tucker. Oh, Snoopy, they call him. He claims he's been in the doghouse all year long, but my guards always are. Guard play will never satisfy me. We work harder at that position than any other. And over the course of the year, I think Anthony Tucker has finally become a guard, and he's doing a pretty good job for us.
Have these youngsters realized what they accomplished in the last few weeks, beating 3-rated teams in the last 2 weeks?
Well, I think they do, Hilliard, because the last month of the year, I really thought we were a top 10 team. There was no way we were going to get that kind of attention with our early season failures. But we had played very well. We had played very consistently, and I'd been around enough that I knew pretty much what a top 10 team was.
What is it going to take here this afternoon? Shelbyville goes up and down the floor rapidly to play 84 feet. Will you try to slow them down or match it?
Well, they probably go a little quicker than we do. They've scored a lot more points than we have. I will probably try to control the tempo a little bit, but it's not going to be a walk up and down the floor game. I think it'll be one the fans will enjoy.
Well, we're delighted to have you back, Norm. You do a tremendous job, and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, and we're tickled to death to be here.
I'm sure you are. Norm Helm, the fine coach of the Anderson Indians. That's the preview here at Market Square Arena. All the coaches here talking to you, and they are so enthusiastic, and they've been caught up in the state championship fever. I'm sure Norm Held is a little bit incredulous because he had to take out Lafayette Jeff, Noblesville, and Gary Wallace in order to get here, and they're all rated among the top teams in the state of Indiana. And, of course, the Marion Giants with Bill Green seeking that coveted 5th championship. If he does that, he will be immortal in Indiana high school basketball coaching circles. And John Heaton with his great game. And Gary Duncan with the Southbridge team, a team that was here a year ago, lost to Marion in the afternoon game. They got it down to about 9 points early in the final period of the game, but they just couldn't get any closer and lost to Marion. There'll be a rematch of that game in the second game this afternoon. Jerry Baker comes along in a moment. Hilliard Gay saying goodbye for a moment here at Indianapolis. Goodbye, everybody.
You've been watching Before the Tip-Off. It's been brought to you by John Deere and your local John Deere dealer, and Lasso herbicide from Monsanto. For less stress and more yield, use Lasso.
Even the most brilliant people can be confused by IRA options, but this year Morris Plan has the answer. It's our 36-month smart IRA. By calling ME 77777, you'll find we're paying 1/4 to 0.5% more. But now at Morris Plan, if interest rates go up, so does your IRA each year. And that's why we call it Morris Plan's Smart IRA. Open an adjustable rate Morris Plan Smart IRA today. It's the smart way to plan for your retirement.
Grab the news right at your door. Get everything the paper's for. You can't lose when you grab the news. It's what, where, when, why, and who. What's just happened and what's to do. Newsworthy people like to grab the news. Stay in touch, learn so much. People on the move. Grab the news, and let the news grab you.
West Indy Jeep Renault's 4.9% rebate is a smash. 4.9%. West Indy, I-65 and Lafayette Road. We make a world of difference.
The Indiana High School Athletic Association proudly presents another championship event. Your network sponsors are the Milk Promotion Services of Indiana, Farm Bureau Insurance and the nearly 700 Farm Bureau Insurance agents located throughout the state of Indiana, and American Fletcher National Bank. At American Fletcher, the advantage is yours.
a great shot of Market Square Arena. You may find a couple of empty seats. Don't worry about them. Those are already sold, and those will be filled by the time the afternoon is really getting underway. It's the finals of the Boys State High School Basketball Championship live from Market Square Arena. Hello again, everybody. This is Jerry Baker. Good morning to you. Settle in. We got a great day of high school basketball lined up for you. And later on tonight, we'll crown the 76th Annual State High School Boys Basketball Champion. Who's it going to be? Let's take a look at the matchups here that'll greet you this morning and this afternoon. First off, the Golden Bears of Shelbyville High School. Under John Heaton, they're 23-3, ranked 14th by AP, 15th by UPI. Not much size on this ball club, but they got great quickness. Their last trip to the Final Four was 1947, and they won it all. How about the Anderson Indians? Nobody gave them much hope of getting here. They're 18-9, the worst record of the Final Four under head coach Norm Held, unranked. They are indeed the surprise. They lost 7 in a row at one point of the year. Their 16th trip to the finals. The last time was in '83, and the runners-up to Connorsville. Game number 2 about 12:30 this afternoon. The Southbridge Raiders and the Marion Giants. The Raiders of Gary Duncan are 24-4, unranked. They were the first team in 7 years to successfully defend their Southern Semi-Championship, and they lost to this Marion ball club 76-52 in the afternoon game of the finals last year. Marion. Here is the odds-on favorite, ranked number 2 in the final poll. They are young, only 2 seniors on the entire roster. They will start all juniors, and they are indeed the defending state champions. And to be quite honest about it, if anybody knocks off Marion, that has to go down to the category of an upset. So it should be an interesting day. And we'll be back with the introduction of the lineups and today's first game in just a moment. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank.
I opened my IRA for the tax break, but now I want more. I'll only get it from a bank, and one that knows how much I need my nest egg. One that offers me a choice of IRA options to help me grow strong and pays high interest that goes even higher as my IRA takes off. I'll only get it from American Fletcher.
AFNB, smarter IRAs for smarter people.
I transferred for the IRA Advantage.
You'll be the leader of the pack in a Pontiac.
The pack is back with exciting news about the 1986 full-size 6-passenger Pontiac Parisienne. Pontiac has made it possible for Pontiac dealers to pass on savings of up to $750 on new Parisiennes equipped with air conditioning. And with 9.9 annual percentage rate GMAC financing, you can save hundreds in finance charges on new Parisiennes. 9.9 financing and air conditioning. That should cool out the competition at your Central Indiana Pontiac dealers.
Pontiac pack. We like to see you smile. We never stop trying to show you we care. When you need us, we'll be there. Hooks likes to see you smile.
Nothing's more important to Hooks than your family's good health. That's why our pharmacists in Green take their time to keep up with the latest developments in medicine.
We like to see you smile.
There's the capacity crowd at Market Square Arena. And they will continue to file in until every seat in this place is filled. It's, as we have talked about in the past, it's the toughest, almost impossible ticket in town. So for the first game, it's Shelbyville's Golden Bears at 23-3. And if they are to have success today, Tom Hession, Julius Denton is going to have a typical Julius Denton basketball game. Number 34, the 6'3 senior, leads the club in points, leads the club in rebounds, number 2 on the squad in field goal percentage. We saw him in the semi-state last week. He's an outstanding young man.
Well, he is a tremendous athlete, and Julius is going to have a good day as well as the other 4 starters. Shelbyville, the type of ball club, as many are that reach this level, that each of the starters plays a particular role, and they're going to have to play their role well here this afternoon. And, of course, they've had a little problem going too deep on the bench, and foul problems could hurt Shelbyville maybe as much as any team here.
The Anderson Indians are already out, and, of course, their crowds are here in full proportion today. And much like Shelbyville, they've got, although not as much as in the past, a couple of players on whom they must rely. One of whom will be number 35, Anthony Kelly. Kelly is a junior, 6 feet tall, and he is leading the club in scoring, leads the club in rebounding, in free throw percentage. He is number 2 on the squad in field goal percentage, and second on the ball club in free throws. There is a look at Anthony Kelly, who also won some UPI All-State honors we'll talk about later on.
They're similar to Shelbyville in the fact that trouble offensively for their opposition can break out in many spots, and they've had that happen throughout this tournament. Tucker and Hathcock, another couple of starters for the Indians, are also averaging in double figures, so their offense is a little bit spread out, as is Shelbyville's.
I found it interesting, Tom, in the fact that Anderson's head coach Norm Held said for the first time in a long time there is no star orientation on this ball club. They've had some great players in the past. Now it's more of a team concept.
Well, it's a team concept, and he's had to really go through the entire classes at Anderson High School, starting a freshman. They have a couple of junior starters, couple of senior starters, another freshman dressed on this varsity ball club. So really, he's pieced together a ball club, even though it took him a little while to do it. As you've indicated, they've lost 7 in a row during this past basketball season. But right now, that makes no difference. They have one to win right here, and hopefully Norm's thinking another one tonight because he's had difficulty with that final ball game.
Here are the matchups between these two ball clubs, and you'll see that on your screen, Shelbyville has the best record. Also, they lead the two squads in offense, have the better defensive average, tops in field goal and free throw percentage, and they lose by about a rebound a game in the statistical department rebounding wise. And I don't know how much credence, Tom, you can put in statistics, but if you want to look at them in this fashion, Shelbyville wins this ball game.
Well, I think it's going to be pretty indicative. They win it, but the statistics are relatively close, and I think we're going to see a close, hard-played ball game. Both these clubs play very hard. Their coaches demand that type of play from them.
All right, the Anderson Indians now head off of the Market Arena, Square Arena floor to our left. That's the east. Shelbyville will do so in just a matter of seconds. And we'll be back to meet these two ball clubs and get set for game number 1 in just a moment. One of your network sponsors is Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
Milk got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition every pour. Health kick. I'm moving to the rhythm of a brand new day, 'cause the vitamins in milk help me on my way. Kick. So get on the health kick, let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Get on the health kick, milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
Here's a fact you can really warm up to. On the average, gas heat costs less than oil or electricity. That's the gas advantage, and that's why more people come home to the comfort of gas heat.
After he's been elbowed, fouled, and yelled at, how does Wayman Tisdale fire up that famous smile?
Breakfast at McDonald's.
And right now, Wayman's smile is a full 100-point grin. Because with any breakfast sandwich and drink at McDonald's, you get
free hash browns.
Free hash browns with your breakfast at McDonald's.
Tell them McTiz sent you.
As we come back live at Market Square Arena, you see the Golden Bears of Shelbyville High School just now leaving the Market Square Arena floor and again down to the east. And they'll be back out momentarily, and we'll meet both these ball clubs, set the lineups, and get set for game number 1. Let's go now across the floor. I believe we're ready for Tom Carnegie. Yes, we are. Tom?
Ladies and gentlemen, a salute to this great nation as we salute the flag of the United States of America. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the voice of Ronald Wilson and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars run herald
once we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ronald Wilson, ladies and gentlemen.
Jerry Baker along with Tom Hession and Hall of Famer Hilliard Gates. Courtside at MSA. Let's get this out of the way, Tom. First off, we congratulate Hilliard Gates for the wonderful Associated Press article. We understand your pictures on the front page of the, is it the Marion paper?
Marion Chronicle.
Wow, I haven't seen
I haven't seen it either.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's not there. They just told you that, too.
Well, Bill Green told me it was there, and I always believe what Bill says.
You better believe what the man says. Bill Green will be the head coach of the Marion Giants in game number 2 today against the ball club coming in from Southbridge. I went over to the Southbridge crowd a while ago to chat with a couple of fans. I wanted to double-check something with them, and it's true in all 4 cases, Tom. To get tickets for this basketball session here today, there were lotteries held in all 4 locales. There just simply aren't enough. You could probably double the size and still not have enough of the people out there.
Well, it's been one of the things over the years that the State Association has attempted to do, and that is allow all the schools that begin this basketball tournament back at the sectional level to have an opportunity to come and visualize this. And, of course, a lot of people start at a very young age doing just that, and they set their dreams upon getting to the Final Four. And so it's an exciting thing in a community to have to go through those things, if you want to put it that way, but still one of those things that they would be glad to look forward to get an opportunity to follow their team.
I saw some film footage on the activity at Anderson High School when they were having their drawing, if you will, for the tickets. They took crowd shots, and had you not known it was what it was, you would have thought it was a nip-and-tuck basketball game going right down to the wire with the emotion of the people involved. Still no arrival yet of the 2 ball clubs back on the floor here at Market Square Arena. Tom, you've done some coaching, and Hilliard, you and I have been around this game a long time. This is a very emotional moment for the coaches, the players, and the fans alike right now.
Norm Held was uptight yesterday, and he admitted it. I watched him coach throughout his hour-and-a-half session here at the building, and he was very, very nervous. And he's experienced. He's been down here 3 times in the last 5 years.
One of the difficult things is the fact that you don't have the same routine. You play all season, traveling to another school, a known destination, etc., and procedures don't vary very much from week to week. But when you get to this particular level of the tournament, a lot of different things come into play, time schedules, etc., that you haven't had to contend with, and that really creates a more nervous coach in the long run.
Well, there are demands on your time also that you're not accustomed to, and as Hilliard pointed out, maybe Norm getting nervous is a good sign, because he's been here before, and I think there's Norm Held on your screen. A nice man to begin with, and if he gets uptight, you know, you figure that we all ought to be getting a little uptight.
Well, he's 46 years of age, and he knows whether he should get uptight or not. And also, John Heaton. John is 46, and Norm Held is 49, I should say. And I think these are 2 excellent coaches. They're gentlemen, and they handle themselves with great aplomb and great dignity. And yes,
that's
Jerry.
a good point, Hilliard. In Monday, maybe the fans don't know, on the Monday prior to the finals on Saturday, in other words, last Monday, all 4 of the coaches come in with their athletic directors and their principals and other persons involved with the school. And that's the first real hit that the media gets at them. These guys, Gary Duncan included, along with John Heaton and Norm, and
for a while, but they eventually come back and sting you.
That basket is not going to count, and I'll tell you why. He stepped over the free throw line. He thought he was going to miss it, but didn't, and he went to get it. He hurried across the line, and the violation call wipes out the free throw.
Well, that's a big play. We have 50 seconds to play now to keep you informed, and Anderson trying to get it to the offensive end, and they do on the long pass.
Here we come now, the Anderson Indians. They've got a 2-point lead at 69-67. Now we're down to 42 seconds to play in this contest. We'll let you enjoy it here. There's the time on the top of your screen. good.
17.
69-69. Anderson now with 12 seconds. 11, 10. Will they go for the final shot? Or are we looking at overtime?
They've had this same situation for 3 weeks.
We're going to go to OT. Overtime. Basket would not have counted had it gone. An absolutely unbelievable comeback by the Golden Bears of Shelbyville. Down by 15 in the third. It's 69 all. We go OT. Stay real close. We got a beauty coming. One of your network sponsors, Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
Milk got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition every pour. Health kick. I'm moving through the rhythm of a brand new day, 'cause the vitamins in milk help me on my way. Kick. So get on the health kick, let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Get on the health kick, milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
After he's been elbowed, fouled, and yelled at, how does Wayman Tisdale fire up that famous smile?
Breakfast at McDonald's.
And right now, Wayman's smile is a full 100-point grin. Because with any breakfast sandwich and drink at McDonald's, you get
free hash browns.
Free hash browns with your breakfast at McDonald's.
Tell them McTiz sent you.
With 18 seconds to go in the game, that young man scored a hoop that tied the ball game. What a big, big play it was.
Well, you see, it's just great anticipation. He saw what was happening. He knew where the next pass was going, and he was there. Didn't really give that ball much space off the board. He kind of edged it over the rim, but a big one for Anderson. There you see it again, and watch it. Didn't get it up as high as he wanted to, I'm sure, but it came out fine for him and the Golden Bears, and we have a jump ball to start the overtime.
Sometimes those elbows don't work real good under certain conditions. I wouldn't have got the thing above my head.
Well, I'm glad you weren't shooting it.
3 minutes in overtime here. Anderson Indians now must feel the pressure of having watched a 15-point lead dissipate. And now Shelbyville could get its first lead since they were ahead by 1.
Let's see if they play it very, very casually here now. They're not going to.
Anderson takes it inside, left hands it up there. On the floor, the rebound to Todd Barrett. Now we'll see how Anderson decides to play this OT session.
Anderson kind of got himself in a position that time. He didn't have a shot or didn't have an outlet pass and switched it to the left hand and got it off the board, but nothing positive out of it. Halfcock with the basketball.
2 minutes and 22 seconds to play in this overtime session. Here's Tucker. They really have Kelly bottled up inside. They have Holloway on one side and Barnett on the other. Because Kelly has just had a masterful ball game today.
2 minutes.
2 minutes to go, overtime. Tom, you know, if Shelbyville sits back in that little zone, Anderson might be content just to work it down for a final shot. They got nothing to lose.
Well, that's true. All you can, I suppose, hope doesn't happen will be a charging foul, but they're going to just play it outside, it appears. Kelly really not doing anything down low to get himself in a position to receive a pass.
He is posted right down on the baseline down there, and he's got a defensive man, Holloway, in front of him. There's the outside shot by Halfcock, and the rebound is Shelbyville. Now it's John Eaton's turn, and he's got his hand stuck high in the sky with 4 fingers stuck out. We'll see what kind of an offense that might mean.
I think they're going to 4 corners is what that means, and Harrell had the ball in the middle.
5-ball game at 69. It's only the 3rd time it's been tied. Here is Harrell. He can't get it to foul.
It's going to be on Holloway.
That's the 4th on Teddy Holloway.
Holloway was trailing through the lane and had his hand or arm right in the back of the Anderson rebounder all the way.
Can you imagine somebody that in that 3rd period walked away to go to the refrigerator, came back, and they're saying, what are these guys still playing for? We're still playing for the right to come back tonight. A brilliant comeback for the Golden Bears of Shelbyville after being down by 15 points. And indeed down by 11 at the end of the 3rd quarter, 52-41. They tied it with 18 seconds to go on a shot by Todd Anderson. And now in OT with 1:08 to play, it's 70-69. Now that man's team is out in front by 1. And that's all it'll be.
Well, Julius Denton went up high to get that rebound.
10 rebounds for him. Timeout. 1 minute, 1 second to play in overtime. The score is 70-69. Anderson leads Shelbyville. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
You know that annoying little buzzer in your car? The one that reminds you to fasten your seatbelt? Well, I've got a fantastic trick for turning it off. About half of all the traffic deaths in Indiana could be prevented if everyone just wore a seatbelt. So, make it click.
This message brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance and your Indiana State Police.
Here's a fact you can really warm up to. On the average, gas heat costs less than oil or electricity. That's the gas advantage, and that's why more people come home to the comfort of gas heat.
Head coach John Heaton said of the ball club, the Shelbyville Golden Bears were very consistent throughout the season, and their defense was very strong. Their weakness was no big man, but they've been able to overcome that with team defense. Tom, they've had a couple of good players. Denton's played very, very well, as has Brian Harrell and Todd Anderson, but it's been kind of a uniform group effort to get them back into this ball game.
Well, everybody has their job to do, and most good teams, that's the way it is, and that's no exception in this case. But both of these ball clubs, really.
Shelbyville is down by 1 point at 70-69. We have 50 seconds to play in overtime. Now the question is, what kind of strategy will they bring up court with them?
Well, I find it a little difficult to believe you'd play for a final shot when you're down, but that may be the case. Let's see.
Brian Harrell, now Julius Denton, and now Anderson. That's the trio that's carried much of the load. Though Tim Barnett has also played well. Teddy Holloway has played well off the bench.
Half a minute.
That Shelbyville rooting section at the top of your screen really getting antsy now, starting to wonder what in the world is going on. The Anderson cheering section, same thing on their part. Well, this is when coaches really earn their pay. 15, 14, 13, there it is. Just watch it, enjoy it. Timeout. All right, here we go. Here's the setup. 8 seconds to play. 70-69. Shelbyville down by 1. They have the basketball. What's going to happen? We'll find out in a minute. One of your network sponsors is American Fletcher National Bank.
I know my business. And when that business needs a loan, I need a bank with a strong business profile. One that knows it sometimes takes money to spread your wings. And where I can rely on not just one business specialist, but a whole flock of them. I need American Fletcher.
AFNB, the money, the attitude, the team for corporate lending.
I took the business advantage.
After he's been elbowed, fouled, and yelled at, how does Wayman Tisdale fire up that famous smile?
Breakfast at McDonald's.
And right now, Wayman's smile is a full 100-point grin. Because with any breakfast sandwich and drink at McDonald's, you get
free hash browns.
Free hash browns with your breakfast at McDonald's.
Tell them McTiz sent you.
Tom, you've done a little coaching in these kinds of positions. No problem, huh?
Well, you certainly try to utilize your best people, obviously. You want to get the ball.
There is a coach's answer for you.
Well, you have to utilize those people in this situation. I was kind of interested and wonder what Norm held. He's going to call timeout, I believe.
Yes, he is.
What he's going to do in this situation, you obviously don't want to foul someone. But at the same time, you can't just let them go unmolested to the basket. So there are problems both ways, obviously.
I'm interested also to see from John Heaton's part, who do you give the ball to? You've got 3 ball players, Anderson, Denton, and Harrell, who have played exceptionally well today. And, Tom, do you want somebody to try to drive the lane now, and if they miss the shot, to pick up that foul?
Well, this is what your philosophy has to dictate to you. Are you going to be aggressive, take it to the basket, or going to set up a shot? I would think that he's probably going to get the ball in the hands of Harrell. Let him make a move inside and see what the defense does, and have Anderson sitting in the corner, ready to take the pass. Anderson, a very effective shooter from there.
Here's Here's John Eaton and his gang at Shelbyville.
We got to play defense. Drew's going to come right to the square. If we can get it to him, okay. If not, we'll take the shot in the corner. Brian, if it's not there, you penetrate, take the jumper there. If you get it in the backcourt, kick it to Brian.
They're going to shoot for the corner, or they're going to try to get on the foul lane. If they can't, they'll shoot for the corner.
Well, I think that's what we said, that Harold's going to try and take it inside. If they can get it to Denton, then they're low, fine. But if not, get it out to the corner.
All right, just sit back and relax if that's possible. There's 8 seconds to play in this basketball game for the right to come back and play tonight against the winner of the Marion Southbridge game. There's a foul call. There has been a foul call
on Denton.
It is on Shelbyville. And the clock showing 1 second to play. Harold took the outside shot a little quicker than I might have anticipated, but he got a good shot.
Well, they're going to throw the ball into Harold behind the timeline. Barnard throwing it in. And there's Harold moving up behind the free throw circle. Has a shot that he likes. He had 3 defenders out there, and it came off the front rim, and Anderson got a big rebound. And that should wrap it up for the Indians.
Shelbyville has not scored in the overtime session. It is 70-69. Now another timeout has been taken. It was 69 all at the end of regulation time, thanks to a field goal by Todd Anderson with 18 seconds to play. That capped a brilliant 15-point comeback. They were down by 15 in the third period. In the overtime session to this point, the only point scored was a free throw, the front end of a 1-and-1 by Todd Barrett of the Anderson Indians. And that puts it, as where it is right now, at 70-69. Tonight's telecast, by the way, will come on the air at 7:30. And we'll have a pregame show, and Hilliard will have some special guests for you. And then we'll have the telecast about 8:05. And again, between ball games today, Dave Fraley, who is the head coach of the winning club down in Kentucky, will be your Pulaski County. That's a surprise, by the way. They were not the favorites. In fact, Fraley's son was the young man who got the winning bucket in that ball game. So you'll be talking to him between games as part of the confrontation between the Indiana and Kentucky girls all-star champions.
He didn't bring videotape of the shot, however.
Is that right? I'll bet he's got some in his pocket if you ask him about it.
Shelbyville got the shot that John Heat wanted him to get, just maybe a stride too far outside.
This has really been about 2 or 3 ball games wrapped into one. It has been tied 3 times, 2, 8, and 69. Anthony Tucker.
This is one of those situations that may be better for Anderson to miss this one from the free throw line.
Only 3 lead changes in the entire ball game. And he did. Here is Denton. It's good if it goes. It hit the backboard. Unbelievable basketball game. Shelbyville's Golden Bears will lose it, but they've got to deserve, or they have earned, a tremendous amount of credit for a great comeback. Here is what's going on. Just watch it on the floor for a moment. Julius Denton shaking hands with the Anderson Indian gang, and you saw John Heaton, Norm Held, the head coach of this Anderson ball club. There goes Julius. He had himself one heck of a ball game, Tom Hession. I've got him for 10 points in the fourth period, 21 points in the ball game today. And now some of the Anderson Indians heading toward the locker room. They will come back and play for the championship tonight. And it will be for Anderson their 10th trip to the championship game. They've won it 3 other times in 35-37, and their last win was in 46 when Charles Cummins took them to a 22-7 record, and they beat Fort Wayne Central 67-53.
Well, Jerry, it's a ball game I know that from Anderson's point of view, they're very glad to forget about, other than the fact that they did win it. It allows them to go on to the final game. Certainly, if you wanted to analyze it from their point of view, they're going to wonder, how did we lose the 15-point lead? Shelbyville, on the other hand, is going to be concerned with, why didn't we get started a little earlier? We know that Harold was out of the ball game, and that probably did affect us offensively for a while. And We had to take some shots from the perimeter, maybe they're thinking. But certainly a tremendous comeback, and getting down to the end, you can point out to a lot of things when you have a close ball game like that as to why it went the way it did, but certainly putting on a great show, demonstrating the fact that these teams deserve to be here because they're champions. They fought it all the way.
Harrell's absence early in the ball game affected the game one way, and then when he came back in, it affected 180 degrees the other way, because he was really a catalyst in he got Denton on track for one thing, and then Anderson got some I guess some confidence outside, because he was carrying much of the ball handling load, and once Harrell came back in, it really kind of freed things up for them.
Shelbyville's offense all year has not been very effective against a set half-court defense. Their offense is better when you get the type of person that Harrell is to penetrate, force the defense to do something other than sit in your normal man or zone, whatever it might happen to be, and get the overload someplace or get the double team and then drop the ball off. They've been very effective at that, and they've scored a lot of points off turnovers. They didn't force very many today. Anderson did a nice job when they got the basketball. They didn't turn it over many times.
Well, it's been one heck of a basketball game, and the next one coming up has what many think is the best team in the state this year. They certainly were last year, the Marion Giants and the Raiders of Southbridge High School. In overtime, Anderson now goes to 19-9 on the year with a 70-69 victory over the Golden Bears of Shelbyville, who wrap up things with a record of 23 wins and 4 losses. Tom and I, along with Hilliard Gates, will be back at Market Square Arena in just a moment. One of your network sponsors is Milk Promotion Services of Indiana.
Milk's got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition in every pour. Health kick. I'm watching my weight and milk fits right in, 'cause it's loaded with calcium and vitamins. Kick. So get on a health kick and let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Get on a health kick. Milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more. You be the leader of the pack in a Pontiac.
The pack is back with exciting news about the 1986 full-size 6-passenger Pontiac Parisienne. Pontiac has made it possible for Pontiac dealers to pass on savings of up to $750 on new Parisiennes equipped with air conditioning. And with 9.9 annual percentage rate GMAC financing, you can save hundreds in finance charges on new Parisiennes. 9.9 financing and air conditioning. That should cool out the competition at your Central Indiana Pontiac dealers.
Different. Hills has more for ladies. One of the largest selections of famous name jeans anywhere. More styles, more sizes. In fact, more famous name ladies jeans than any store we know. All at the everyday low prices Hills is famous for.
We're a different kind of department store. You ought to be shopping Hills. Check us out.
Just a quick check on the scoring for the Anderson Indians. 3 players in double figures, led by Anthony Kelly with 30, 19 from Eric Hathcock, and a dozen from Anthony Tucker. For the Shelbyville Golden Bears, their leading scorer with 21 points was Julius Denton, right behind Todd Anderson with 20, and then a 12-point total out of Brian Harrell. In overtime, 70-69, Anderson wins over the Shelbyville Golden Bears.